Thank you, Greg. Please just stand up. We're asking a lot of you to sit here for 3 hours. Just stand up, stretch, sit down. Thank you. Standing ovation. Thank you. Now sit down. I haven't even started. I am so excited that this conference is even happening, and the main reason I'm excited is that the average age of the participants here is about 25 years less than me. The reason that's really exciting is I have been so privileged over the years to have been influenced by some really, really clear thinkers. A couple of them, one you've just heard from, Michael Murphy from Ireland. Another was mentioned earlier, Eddie Glass. Another I've been hugely influenced over time has been Dr. Colin Holmes of Massey University many years ago. And these people have really sorted out in their own minds the clear principles of enduringly successful business, and they all happen to be involved in cows and grass like us as well. And the fact that I had access to these people has so hugely influenced where Kieran and I and our kids are now in terms of our lifestyle, but also the options that are available to us. So if I can, through them, just impart one or two of the key principles that we've learned, then your decisions at your age that you make with capital now will determine your lifestyle and your options 20 years down the line. And particularly that first decision that you make with that scarce capital that you're desperately ferreting around trying to put together now. So if I can influence you positively on just one or two of those things, I will have succeeded today. The two messages I want to leave you with are the principles on how we farm and how damn simple they are, and how anybody can actually do them, and why they generate a repeatable cash surplus, which allows us to service debt and generate growth, therefore, and generate a lifestyle. Secondly, the principles behind how we make decisions with capital. I will take you for a trip down a mountain on a snowball with respect to our own personal business growth, but only as an example of the fact that the principles do actually work. The next generation will find different ways probably to grow the equity the way we have, but the principles of that growth will be exactly the same, I promise you. I think I'm forward. Now, I'll talk about those principles, but the third most important thing is the why behind our principles. Kieran and I, since 2002, wrote ourselves a strategic plan, and it's the best thing we ever did. And in our vision, it's very clear between us that our marriage and our family relationship is our absolute priority. Secondly, that we will always deliberately gather positive and inspirational people around ourselves, and that's what these sort of events are about for us. But more importantly, in our day-to-day lives, the type of people that we attract to work on our farms hugely enhance our lifestyle. And Kieran and I made a decision in 2003, a long time ago. The two of us were milking a baby each in the backpack, another one asleep in the car, the other one wasn't thought about then. And we said to each other, we were enjoying milking, but we did say at that time that one day we are going to get someone else to do this for us, and we're going to live in Europe for a year. Kieran's Irish, so there's lots of good reasons for doing that. Now, 10 years later, exactly, 10 years later, we left capable people managing 4 dairy farms, 2 that we owned outright and 2 that we owned 50%, and went to France. That's us with the kids in France in 2013. The reason we could do that was because our systems were so simple, so replicable, and so cash generating that we could. Now, the title of my paper is The Benefits of Financial Discipline. Now, discipline is a word that often people think of in terms of constraint, and it's tedious, and etc., etc. To me, discipline absolutely delivers freedom. So I think of discipline like even discipline in terms of your own physical health or your exercise. If you really believe in the benefits of being physically fit, you will program exercise into every day of your life, especially once you get past 50. It's absolutely imperative, right? Now, if you don't believe in the benefits enough, you will be too busy to exercise. It's that simple. That's why I start my day very early, because I want to ski with Kieran when I'm 70. I start my day with exercise, right? Driven by that desire down the road. It's the same with discipline with capital. If you really see the benefits of being disciplined with capital, then all those cliches that get trotted out, like do it once and do it right, that's a classic to justify the $1.5 million Roadley with all the bells and whistles. Those cliches get annihilated if you understand the benefit of being disciplined with capital. So it's about knowing why you're doing something in terms of helping your discipline with your decisions. Look at this lineup of young people, and I have to give Will Green and Nicola Blowy, who are both here, credit for this. When I talked about attracting inspirational people around us, we have a whole team. There's a few blow-ins from neighbouring farms there, but they've put together a whole team, a touch rugby team, in Fairley, where there's only a population of 900 people. Look at that lineup of young, mostly tertiary educated, it doesn't matter whether they are or they aren't, but they come to us from Europe in particular and the US because we're passionate about grass farming. They want to learn about grass farming, so we just have this endless access to high quality, wonderful people who push us in our thinking. That's what makes farming so pleasurable for us. Up that way. That's Adrian from years ago. Our health and safety protocols have improved a little bit since then, but the point is, we've probably, with the exception of one or two, of all those staff who were employed over the years, most of them we could have left our kids with. When you're shear milking, I was talking about decisions we made in the cowshed way back in 2003. Thank you. When they're too young to actually understand its work, the best way to keep your costs down when you're shear milking is just to exploit the kids. So, actually we're still exploiting the kids. They were on the information desk doing it for nothing this morning. I'm a bit scared soon they're actually going to work it out. Can I just say next, because that thing's too slow? Thank you. Right, so farming system discipline first. There's two ways we could approach our farming system. We could target yield, and we've talked about this earlier. If we target yield per cow in particular, we will go looking for a cow that will give us yield. That's easy. So you'll end up with a great big monster of a Holstein. She will go lame regularly. She will be really hard to get in calf. So you will then go and put a system around her to make sure you can get her in calf and make sure she doesn't go lame, right? Then you will go looking for someone that can run the system to make sure this animal gets in calf and doesn't go lame, right? Ideally, they'll have a PhD in nutrition because it's really hard to generate all that yield and overcome all those problems, right? What you will get, because you targeted yield, is yield. You get what you target, full stop. Whether it's physical fitness, whether it's equity growth, whether it's yield per cow, you will get what you target. I absolutely promise you. It's a fact in life. Your profit will be a consequence. You'll have it sometimes and you won't have it other times, and you'll be one of those guys who added $1.50 to their debt. Did we see those numbers before? From the bankers in the low milk price years, right? You will get yield, but your profit will be erratic. Your capital reinvestment, and here's the key, your capital reinvestment will escalate to sustain the system. Murphy was wandering around South Canterbury in 1993 with that graph that he put up there today of as you shift away from pasture, from grazed grass and a cow's diet, you will increase your capital expenditure and increase your overall costs. I thought he was brilliant then, and I don't know if there's anyone here from Heinz. He spoke to our Heinz discussion group. I was firing shots at farmers way back then about getting too excited about putting supplementary feed in your system because of the impact it would have on your capital expenditure. It creeps and creeps and creeps and you don't realise it. Now, alternatively, you could take a different approach. There's a hint. Right, you could do what we do, and ever since we were shear milking, target profit with low ongoing capital reinvestment. It's a deliberate target. Our system has to not require us to suck the cash that we generate back into our system, right? So as shear milkers, we targeted free cash as a percentage of turnover. 23% free cash as a percentage of turnover, because we can't control the milk price. That'll be all over the place, but if we focus on that percentage, we're focusing on generating cash that can grow our business. Then you'll look not for a cow, but you'll look for a system that can deliver that. And Greg just defined that beautifully, the demand and supply curve, that terribly, terribly simple graph. Now, we put on enough cows to eat all the grass that we grow in the summer in our environment. That means there'll be a gap in that graph Greg drew. In the autumn, in the spring, there'll be a gap. You fill that gap by rolling your feed over from the previous autumn. That technology was developed in New Zealand in the 1950s by McMeekin, improved by Arnold Bryant in the 70s, further improved by Kevin McDonald at Ruakura. All that data's there if you want to go and find it. Then you run a rotation loop planner in the spring, so you must take the pasture cover you need into the winter. In our environment it's 2300, which sounds high, but we live in Fairley, so we don't grow much in the winter. We know we must carve with 2600 average cover in our environment to do an all-grass spring, which is what we do. We achieve that by running a rotation length planner. You'll hear that from all the people in this conference today. 1.5 times around the farm before Magic Day. That was Kevin McDonald's work at Ruakura. And then come autumn, there'll be another gap. How do we fill the autumn gap? We roll the feed ahead from the late summer to lengthen our round in the autumn to get as many milking days as we can as possible. Terribly, terribly simple technology, if you want to call it that, but it works. The other thing we do is we drop our demand as we go through the autumn by dropping off cows incrementally as they lose condition, because we know we can only put half a condition score on the cows in the winter. So there's the farming system. And the other rule, every person that walks onto our farm learns what a 1500 residual looks like the day they arrive. Once they implement those terribly simple rules, the other is that you must carve with condition score 5 at calving, you make money. You make money at a $4.40 milk price and you break even at a $3.90 milk price. So you have a massive comparative advantage, because if you're one of the ones that can ride the lows, then you're the one that's got the opportunity when we go into the next down cycle that the banks were alluding to, and the banks are saying no to everybody else in terms of funding them into the next opportunity. So I digressed, but I went into our system. So you find a system that will deliver, that's it. Then you find the efficient converter of that system. She's a Kiwi cross or a Jersey cow, that one that will get in calf every 365 days. Then you train the person into that system, and we just have them falling over out themselves to come and work for us and learn the system. So it's such a win-win. You will get, because you targeted profit, you will get profit per hectare, guaranteed, irrespective of the milk price. Production will be a consequence. Sometimes we get 340 solids a cow, sometimes we get 410, it doesn't matter, it's not a target of ours. Sometimes we peak at 2.2, sometimes we peak at 1.7, doesn't matter. What we need is peak pasture quality at Magic Day, not peak per cow production. And your capital reinvestment in the system will be minimised, because you're not running around trying to find better ways to utilise the supplementary feed, because there isn't any, right? You will have free cash for growth. How does all this average production that I mentioned work out for us? In 2013, I spoke to a conference in Ireland, so it's interesting to compare with now. That was at a $6.50 milk price. Our production was 9% per cow below the average. Our EBIT per hectare was $14.60 a hectare above the average. Our cost of production was well below the average at $3.33 a kilo of milk solids, including the contract milk, the whole lot, €2 for the Europeans in our audience. And our operating profit was $3.61 per kilo of milk solids. That's what gives you the opportunity to grow, the operating profit. And then what do we have to do with that operating profit? Do we have to sink it back into our system, or can we actually use that to service debt to grow? Now, fast forward to 2018. So between 13 and 18, we had a $7 milk price. Did we change anything? No. So we did not say, well, we need to take advantage of this high milk price, and we need to change our systems to take advantage. We just made a whole lot more profit and paid a whole lot more tax, okay? So the milk price June to June last year was $5.82. Revenue per hectare on our home farm was $1,800 a hectare below the Canterbury average. Below the Canterbury average, all right? We're also 400 metres above sea level, by the way, so that has a bit of an impact. We grow less grass than Canterbury average as well. Our EBIT, nevertheless, is double the average. So never assume that there's a direct relationship between output and profitability. Often I find it's an inverse relationship. Home farm cost of production last year in 2017 was $3.38 a kilo of milk solids, EBIT per hectare at $4,500. So it's very, very easy, because we know our production cost is around at $3.40. If you assume a $5.50 milk price, say, going forward, and add 50 cents for culls and calves, so $6 gross, we know we've got $2.60 a kilo. So you can evaluate an investment just like that, bang, 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 because you know what our system delivers. When you know the repeatable capability of your own system, it's very, very easy to evaluate an investment, which brings me on to the next point. So how you farm is imperative, and understanding what your cost of production is and having a consistent cost of production. The other thing is what you do with capital. And return on capital is the most important principle that I was taught, the difference between return on capital and return on equity. We can talk about that later. But your return on capital will determine return on equity will determine how fast you can progress. And all your return on capital is your profit on the top line, your EBIT, over everything that you tie up in generating that EBIT on the bottom line. So if you want to invest $1 million, then it's your EBIT on the top line that will determine your return on that $1 million, right? So a 10% return would be 10% above that. But if you want to ask me later, because I haven't got time here, to go through how we evaluate an investment, what's absolutely imperative is that the smaller the amount of capital you tie up on the bottom line, and the higher the EBIT you have on the top line of that equation, okay, then the higher your return on capital. All our decisions with capital are based on a principle that we will not invest unless we can see a return on capital 4% higher than the interest cost. So when we bought our first farm, we only did it because we were surprised to find a property at that time with, in fact, gravity-fed water, which kept our cost of production 50 cents below probably the average in Canterbury, in an environment that other people are afraid of because it snows there. And we believed we could generate a 14% return on capital. That was at a time when interest rates were 10%, so that's why we did it. We did it with only 23% equity, but the reason we did it was that we could see that margin over cost of capital. That's the absolute core principle that's actually driven every investment decision and driven our equity growth. So we started, this picture looks very much like Greg's. I have to speed up. We started in Rangatawa, share milking 700 cows, $180,000 equity between us, Kieran and I. I'll never forget, $800,000 we needed, turned down by 3 banks, finally got banked, and I'll never forget we had $191,000 of debt servicing every year for 5 years that we had to pay. There's nothing like debt as a motivator to keep your system efficient. We fast forwarded our progress by running 2 700 cow jobs concurrently. The second one was in Fairley. We've since bought that farm. Can I just say next? I called 2002 to 2006 when we were share milking the building years, which is a really short period of time really. We fast-tracked it, as I say. Next please. Next please. Next please. And next please. 2007 to 2013, the snowball really started to, can you just keep moving them forward, thank you, really started to roll. So, and again please, just keep pressing it and I'll keep up with it. Oh no, stop now. So we, after we bought our first farm, a farm next door came up, and the simple maths of it is we used leverage and partnerships to get into it, right? Across the road, there was an opportunity that needed $9 million. We put in our cows from our share milking job, which was $1.5 million. We had a partner who put in $1.5 million, so there was $3 million, and the bank put in the rest, so the other 6. Banks have always, since we were share milking, broken most of their rules for us because we always service our debt beyond what we promised, right? We used the same model the same year. We did a second conversion in Greenburn, which is in the foothills in Fairley. That's a dryland farm. Same model, 1/3 equity. Next please, 2/3. There's Greenburn up in the foothills of Fairley, and if you look far in the background there, you can see Lake Apua, which has transformed our whole South Canterbury environment. But we're standing up there, and you can see to the right of that picture some more beautiful green grass, which tragically was being put through sheep. So we decided we needed to buy that one as well. So if you go to the next one, please. In December 2008, we bought Hillcrest. We got really cocky. We just thought we were bomb-proof by now because everything worked so well. And we signed up Hillcrest on 100% borrowed money 1 month before the GFC hit in 2008. Then the bank decided, yes, they gave us the money for the land, but they wouldn't give us the money for the cow shed because they told us they had none. Next, please. Next, please. Right. So what happened was 16 months later, the milk price improved. So we lived along, having made that investment, and all my numbers stacked up beautifully on paper with a cow shed on the place, but we weren't able to build the cow shed on the place. So we lived along and used that as a wintering block in Fairlie for 16 months, and then when the milk price improved, 3 banks came to us within half an hour and said, would you like to build that cow shed now? So this is April 2010. Now, starting building a cow shed in Fairlie is not ideal, but we just did it anyway. Next one, please. So the bank approved that funding. What we did was we survived. The reason we survived was, firstly, we had a very significant margin between what we paid for it and the interest costs, so we did limp along, but we got rid of stuff. We sold the house off it. There was a mountain up behind it. We sold the mountain off it, and we made it work. And then we had the cow shed up and running on the 4th of August 2010. Next, please. So there we are, celebrating that milestone. And the next one, please. I just have to tell this story very briefly. Murphy and Kieran and I had a bet. He didn't believe when we started a cow shed in Fairlie in April 2010 that we'd be milking cows in August. And we had a bet, a box of Weetabix, Irish Weetabix. I love the Irish Weetabix. I have quite a penchant for a lot of things Irish, actually. But Murphy visited us in August 2010, and we'd been up to Hillcrest to show him that it could be done, and we were driving past Wimborne. The 2 farms were converted at the same time, and Fonterra's staff were there just putting the sign and rubbing the dust off the sign as we drove past, and that's a true story. So I got my box of Weetabix. Right, last ones. So that's the big picture. Yeah, please, thank you. So that's the environment that we're living in. I've given you the growth story. I don't need to go into any more detail. There's been more farms purchased since then, but the key was the equity, targeting the return on equity. Just flick the last through. There's some of that. Next one, please. That's, you just saw back there, Matt Greenwood, who he's doing what he does so well. He came to us from the sheep industry. He's here today. He is now training the next generation, and that's what gives us our freedom. Wonderful quality people picking up what is a terribly simple system and then passing on those skills to the next ones and the next ones, and that's why we don't really have to be there anymore. So just the last pictures now, and I'll finish. So there's the snowball. It looks like it's all beer and skittles until we did what we did in 2008. A loan to valuation ratio of 77%, not recommended. Debt repayment since has got us back down to a loan to valuation ratio of 50%. But the key has been, it's been mostly fun along the way. The last 2 slides, please. So that's us in France. The next one, please. Right, clarity of purpose then has driven all our progress. Targeting return on equity with discipline has delivered compound growth. Simple, replicable systems what actually gives us the cash and the freedom, and having fun is just so much part of the journey. Just put the last 2 up there, please. Don't put that one on Facebook, please. So you have to take some risks to enjoy the benefits, although that is actually someone else's vote, which is the way to enjoy Jeep voting.